Hey y'all, it's David. Today I wanted to show you my collection of potted cactus and succulents. It's been a while since I've shown y'all what's been going on out here, so I thought we could take a few minutes and take a closer look and see how all of my potted cactus and succulent are doing in the fall of 2024. So let's take a closer look. Alright, let's start by taking a look over on this shelf over here. First, I just have a couple bromeliads. I'm going to try keeping them outdoors over the winter. I think they're actually a lot more cold hardy than a lot of people think. So I'm going to give that a try. And then here we have my succulent seedlings. These are all ones that I've grown from seed last year, and then they spent the summer outside. Here, these are some Trichodiadema hybrids from my plants in the front yard. These two are hybrids that I made of aloe plants, and I'm really liking the way that they're turning out, especially these thinner leafed varieties right here. I love the nice like spotting on the leaf. I think that's very pretty. Then back here we have like some Faucaria, a few different varieties. I think I have them labeled. Faucaria, tigrina, pink leafed variety. This one's Faucaria albidens. This one they have nice purple flowers in the winter, and it's grown pretty well. I've already divided it into 4 and I started them with 1. This one also has grown pretty well and I've split it in 3. These are like the baby toes succulent. Those are coming along nicely. And this is a Lophophora that I grafted. And I actually did several of them. It feels nice, it's nice and firm. I did several of them and they didn't take, but this one has seemed to take. And then over here, I have a Gymnocalycium that I grafted last year. And it's gotten pretty big, and this one seems to have done really well, like the way that turned out. Some Mammillarias here. These ones are looking pretty nice. Coryphantha. And here's my old Haworthia turgida. It's overtaking this pot. It looks pretty nice. Gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna need to get a bigger pot, I think. But I like the way that this looks in this kind of bonsai pot. This is an Arthrocereus, which I started from seed a couple years ago. I began with a few of them, but this is the only one that's made it. They always struggled, and I tried everything. I was babying them, keeping them indoors, but they never seemed to thrive. But I think I finally figured out what this cactus likes. Earlier this year, when I repotted the cactus, I added some bark to the soil mix to make it super airy and fast draining. Then once it settled in and the temperatures cooled a bit this fall, I noticed a big boost in its growth. So I'm really happy to finally see this cactus thriving. This is an air plant Tillandsia xerographica. Very nice. This is Haworthia salicornioides. It's a type of tropical cactus. I think it's commonly called dancing bones. It's grown quite a bit. And then over here we have a Haworthia. There's quite a few blooms here that I'll just get rid of. Let me just clean this up really quick. As you can see, it bloomed quite a bit earlier in the year. That's much better. There we go. And there's an Aeonium. And here's another type of Haworthia that needs a little cleanup. Haworthia venosa. And this is a pickle plant. I've noticed this doesn't like too much water. It did also bloom earlier this year, which was quite nice because it's the first time it bloomed for me. But it's been doing well recently. Here's a type of Haworthia. And another Haworthia, Haworthia truncata. I love the flat, somewhat rectangular leaves on this plant. Here are some Gasteria aloe hybrids. Then in this decorative pot is a species of aloe, Aloe aristata. Now let's go down a couple shelves. Here is the Adromiscus that we repotted together in a video last year. It's still doing pretty well, and it recently flowered. I did recently add to my collection a few Stapelia. These are those types of succulents with flowers that, well, I'm just gonna say it, they smell like rotting flesh. That's why one of their common names is carrion flower. Thankfully, you do have to put your nose right up to the flower to smell it. At least that was my experience the few times I've encountered these plants flowering. The bad smell is actually an adaptation to attract flies, which act as their pollinators. I think they're pretty fascinating, so I'm excited to finally have a few in my collection. And moving on, this is a Haworthia. I love the dark color of the leaves on this one. And another type of Haworthia, and a Faucaria. And then down this way, we have an Albuca spiralis, or Frizzle Sizzle as the tag says. But what I'm more excited about are these Brunsvigia Josephinae. I'll put the name on the screen. I started them from seed last winter, and they grew until the summer when they went dormant and lost all of their leaves. This is just part of their natural cycle since they're from a winter rainfall region of South Africa. Even though I was expecting this, I was pretty happy to see that their leaves resprouted this fall, since this is my first time growing the plant and I wasn't quite sure if I killed them or not. I'm pretty excited about these since I also live in a winter rainfall region, similar to where these plants are from, so I won't need to give them much water during our hot, dry summers. They're pretty small now, but I'm hoping that they'll eventually grow into the big beauties that I've seen at the Ruth Bancroft Garden. Here are some propagations from plants in my yard. A single coral aloe and the rest are agave peri truncata. These tend to pup like crazy for me, so I just made some propagations to share. This is an aloe called Diablo. Next, let's check out this tray. We'll start with this aloe. It's looking pretty green right now, but with more sun, it does turn a nice red. I started this plant from what I often call a kiki, though that's typically an orchid term. It's basically a little plantlet that forms on a flower stem. I took a couple of these and rooted them into small pots, and now they've grown on enough to start producing their own kikis. Let's see, what else? We also have a Gasteria right here that's coming up. This started with just a leaf cutting. Actually, it looks like a leaf of another succulent fell in there and is rooting as well. Another Gasteria. There's some Gymnocalyciums, Mammillaria, Astrophytum. Then we just have a mixture of succulents. There's a Dicea called Black Ice. Then there's a Hilda Wintera in the face pot. liking the way that looks. This is a perfect cactus to look like hair, I think. There's an aloe. It's very small and upright. I like that. Here's a epiphyllum. Has all these fruit on it, which are nice. Another succulent planter with mixed varieties. Then moving down over here. This right here is a rat-tail cactus. I think it's matured quite nicely. It actually was covered with blooms this spring, and I was actually a little surprised because it had bloomed the year before, but there was only a few blooms on it. But this spring it was absolutely covered, so I'm hoping from here on out I'll get a show like that every summer. This is more of a tropical cactus, so it does need a little bit more water than the desert varieties. And actually, let's not skip these. Have more dicea here and here. And this is another type of bromeliad. It's actually maturing quite nicely. It's like outgrowing the pot. I think I'm gonna need to upgrade this soon. Then a couple gasteria. These ones have nice variegation. And then Euphorbia millii. This one has a yellow flower, which is nice. And then over here we have an aloe. A couple fall blooms happening right now. This one is called White Fox, and it's actually the parent to the aloe hybrids that I showed earlier over there. Here's an aloe hybrid. This one has a nice dark leaf. Some little cactus seedlings. These are living stones that I started from seed. And then this is a agave, some gasteria. Here's an aloe, and it actually put up a flower stalk right through. These are some astrophytum seedlings. These are more Gymnocalyciums, and I've actually lost quite a few of them. It looks like there's 5 of them here that didn't make it. I often lose Gymnocalyciums over the summer. They're very sensitive to being watered at the wrong time. So luckily I always start new ones from seed, so I have new ones coming up. But I do have to be very careful about watering these. If it's too hot and you water them, it seems like they'll die. And then this is just a couple little succulents that I popped into this broken pot, hoping something might happen. All different kinds of succulents. I have been dealing with some pest problems, unfortunately, especially with mealybug, which seems to be pretty bad here. So I've been starting to treat a lot of these plants for that. Here's a Euphorbia obesa. Then up here on the top shelf, a lot of Mammillaria up here. These are all cactus that I started from seed at some point, and they're now growing up. Liking the white coloration on that one. Here's an Opuntia cactus that I started from seed. The newest leaves are actually starting to actually look like Opuntias, whereas the initial leaves really didn't. We have a crow or a raven going crazy today. Just missed the flower on this one. The Lophophora's back there. This one, unfortunately, had got some sunburn, and it damaged the plant quite a bit, but it looks like it's recovering. These aloes are starting to bud up. This little succulent garden here. Some more seedlings. I think those are Parodia. And then these are a spineless version of Cactus. This is a desert bromeliad native to Texas. And that's Aloe Bellatula, which is in bud now, which that will be exciting to see shortly. And there we have it. That's my cactus and succulent collection in the fall of 2024. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.